Hi, I'm David Neeleman. I'm the founder, chairman, and CEO of Breeze Airways, and I'm thrilled to be here and answer your questions. How many airlines have you started? Breeze is my 5th airline. Just to recap really quickly, I had an airline based in Utah. That was my first airline that I started. I was only 24 years old at the time, and that airline was purchased by Southwest Airlines. And I went to work at Southwest for a period of time. And then I left Southwest at their request, but I had a 5-year non-compete in the US. So I went to the closest spot out of the United States to start an airline, and I helped a group of people up there in Calgary, Canada, start WestJet Airlines. So that's the 2nd largest airline in Canada. I'm very proud of that. And then when my 5-year non-compete was up, I was honored to be the founder of JetBlue Airlines, and JetBlue's and doing great. And then I went to Brazil. I was born in Brazil and just fell in love with the Brazilian people, and I really wanted to do something to help the country. So I founded Azul Airlines in Brazil, which is the largest airline in Brazil today, and it's the 4th largest domestic market in the world. Azul flies about 35 million people a year, and we serve 170 cities. And we have 16,000 people who work there, and about half of them have come from out of poverty. So I'm really proud of what we've done at Azul in Brazil. And then, of course, the 5th one is Breeze, which I am also very proud of. Breeze is bringing air travel to people that are in small and medium cities to bigger cities. We are generating traffic, a couple hundred flights a day. So it's been a really great privilege. It's been an honor and privilege to be involved in the founding of all these airlines, but obviously I couldn't do it with a tremendous supporting cast that have supported me along the way. This next question comes from Mason in Syracuse, New York, one of our great cities. Well, we love Syracuse. It's doing fantastic. And Mason's question is, how big of a challenge was it to start Breeze with the timing of COVID-19? It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Getting the airline certified during COVID was impossible. The FAA was all working in their homes. It was really, really tough. When COVID hit, we had 55 people working here. And so obviously we had no revenue. And so we used a lot of capital, a lot more than we would have had it not been for COVID. But we persevered. Our people were dedicated and worked really hard, and we got through it. Started flying our flights in May of 2021, which is kind of coming out of COVID. So I think I'd like to believe we're a better company today because we had to go through those tremendous challenges. And so we are really focused on being better every day. And we learned a lot during COVID, but we're glad we're through with it and hope to never see that again. A question comes from Connor from Cherokee, Iowa. How do you plan on expanding the airline? This summer, we are what we call connecting the dots. We've laid out these 70 cities, and now we're gonna start flying between those cities as well more often. We'll still probably add about 10 cities this year. I think the thing that I'm really proud of is we have about 15 cities that we have more destinations than any other airline. Once we go into a city, or we start adding, and it's successful, then we just keep adding more and more destinations, which makes us a lot more relevant. So, good question, Connor. Natalie in Orange County, California, asked, how do you pay for which airports to fly to? Our emphasis is finding routes that have no nonstop service. So that's really what we're looking for. About 86% of the routes that we fly have no nonstop competition. I'm really proud of our schedule planning team and the great job that they do selecting cities. If you could talk to your city council at Orange County to give us more slots, we could serve a lot more places out of Orange County, California. We only have 3 slots there. I'd love to have 20. This next question comes from Dan in Solon, Ohio. Breeze announced Canton, Akron will be a crew base. Is this a prelude to additional cities served from there? I would say absolutely yes. We love Canton, Akron. We've done nothing but grow that. It is one of my favorite cities. It is a great destination for us. When we looked around to look at our next crew base, it was just obvious that's where we wanted to be. So yes, there will be more flights out of there. There'll be more destinations. And it's some place that we really love, and just pay attention because we'll be adding more service out of there. So just a great place. Okay, next question comes from Matt in Sandy, Utah. What initiatives do we have to outreach to the community to make our community better since we're headquartered here in Utah? Our business is bringing people together. First and foremost, the most good that we do is to have service from communities where people can fly for twice as fast for half the price. Did you know that the Utah Make-A-Wish Foundation receives about 200 wishes a year? And about 80% of those wishes are to go to either Disneyland or Disney World. We can grant all these wishes as being the official airline for no charge. I was on a flight last week with 4 families from Provo to Orlando with a party of about 20 people. We granted those wishes, and it was just so heartwarming to be on with those young children and their families, and they were so grateful. So a great question, Matt. We love being in Utah, and we love helping our community be better. This question comes from Bill in Miami. Why do you prefer the 220s over the Embraer? Anyone who knows my history knows that I am a huge Embraer guy. Ultimately, what won the day for the 220 in Breeze's operation was that we wanted the extra range. The 220 can fly further distances. It's a fully transcon airplane, and the E2 isn't. Davis asked, in Tampa, Florida, will you in the future purchase Airbus A320 fleet? I was a Boeing guy. It was all Boeing. But when Boeing wouldn't give us the deal we asked for, I went and met with Airbus. So today we fly the Airbus 220-300. There's a 100 and there's a 300. Now they're looking at building a stretch version, a larger version of that. And there's no doubt with this newer technology, the 320, that will be the replacement airplane. Just better at fuel burn, better technology, lighter structure, and 2 and 3 seating as opposed to 3 and 3 seating. I think that airplane would be the replacement, obviously, because it has common parts and common pilots. That's an airplane we'd be interested in buying. So instead of the 320, I think we'd go with, call it the 500, the 220-500, which we think would be a better option for us. Okay, next question comes from Sean in Tampa, Florida. What is your position on raising the mandatory pilot retirement age? I'm 65 years old, if you can believe it. I know I don't look 65, but I did my 100 push-ups today, and I also ran my driveway at high elevation. So I feel like I could certainly pilot an airplane if it wasn't for my ADD. That's a whole nother issue. I am absolutely in favor. I think it's a shame, but obviously people age differently. And pilots go through a very rigorous annual medical where they get checked over by a doctor, and to force people out of the flight deck in 65 is more of a political issue. Really, the legacy airlines were kind of silent on it because their oldest pilots are their most expensive pilots, so they don't mind retiring. They're pilots anyways, and I hope it gets revisited because it's really not fair. This question comes from Scott in Sarasota, Florida. Where do you see Breeze in 30 years? In 30 years, I'll be 95, so I'm not sure I'll see him in 30 years, but I hope to. We've got on order of the 220, 120 airplanes, and today we've only taken delivery of about 36 of those. We will become, at least with the airplanes we have on order, 3.5, 4 times bigger than we are today. And then there's a derivative of the 220, which is the longer version of it that Airbus is working on, and I think we'll probably see that plane around the 2030 period time, I should say. So that will be good. I've got a lot of grandkids, and I want to see them all grow up and have great grandkids. Hi, I'm David Neeleman. I'm the chairman, founder, and CEO of Breeze Airways. I'm really happy to be answering your questions on all these social media platforms. So keep the questions coming in, follow us along, and we'll just keep answering.